Hello, everyone. Good morning. Tips Fedora. I'm going to be too shy to say this when people start pouring in, but I just wanted to say discovering your channel was really what inspired me to discover exactly what content creation I wanted to do. And it felt really cool to find someone on the internet who voices a lot of values I have surrounding content creation. I hope you know that you're a really positive and inspiring force on the internet. Thank you so much. Yep, I do feel like part of my motivation to continue to create is to share my opinions in ways that I think a lot of other content creators are scared to do, which is valid because a lot of the things that I say are not good for views, and the way I go about creating is not good for views. Be right back. I just realized I didn't close my door. I'll be right back, everyone. But yes, good morning, good morning. Let me check. Oh, music is loud. Sorry about that. Alright, alright, so... What? Bat brain already? Wow. Okay, so... I will let more people shuffle in. I am considering moving stream to a new day. I'm considering moving it to Saturday. Just gonna be real with you. My work schedule is very unpredictable right now. Everything's kind of in the air. Have I eaten? I have. Yes. My work schedule is a little bit in the air right now. I have 2 interviews in the next week because I'm trying to get, as you guys know, I'm trying to get work outside of just freelance work. Because, you know, stability and income is important and all of that. So hopefully those interviews go well. VTubing interviews, yeah. VTubing companies. I would love to get interviews outside of VTubing companies, but, you know, this is where the Lord has me right now, and I'm just gonna trust. Yeah, but yeah, hopefully those go well. And then, alright, I said there were 2 announcements. I'll say them now, and then I'll say them at the end, so that I can catch the people who still haven't come in. Okay, so 2 announcements from me. Okay, the first one is, as you guys know, I have been collaborating with my dear friend Squeegee3D. Next Friday, we are returning to my game project. I had to put it on hold because I'm gonna be real. Job opportunities started to roll in, and I got to work with Iron Mouse and Daryl and Riku on the Music Box of Fate project. And as a result, I did put my indie game development on hold. But, luckily, things are moving again. As in, I am refusing any future projects until I can claw my way back to my projects. So we're gonna have a cute couple of streams relating to my indie game project VTuber agency coming soon. The first one is going to be with Squeegee3D. She is going to critique my VTuber designs for the game. So I will show you guys a little bit since it's been a hot minute. Let me grab the designs here. It's been a while, but I gotta scroll up. See if I can find them. Oh my gosh. Should be somewhere here. Oh my gosh. Man, so I've been using Discord to organize my life for a while now. That is a horrible idea. Gonna be real. Okay, let's see if I can... I'm gonna try and move all of my stuff out of Discord into something else. But yeah, this is what we have so far. Hopefully I get to finish Toodles as well, which is the 4th member, before the stream. But yeah, we've got Chris, Hime, and Posey. And we're going to have my 3 VTuber designs critiqued by Squeegee on Friday. Hopefully it goes well. I like these girls. I think they're neat. I would like to get a little more like color variation and yeah, there's a few things I'd like her help on, but that is the first announcement. With each passing day, I keep learning your seemingly growing number of skills. Yeah, here's the thing. I can't decide on a hobby, so I have to grow skills in all of them. So yeah, that is gonna be on Friday. I'm really excited for this. This has been a long time coming. I've worked on these for a long time, and I promised I would claw my way back to this project, and it's finally happening. So, thank you guys for your patience. It's called being a polymath, which is not a bad thing at all. It's a blessing and a curse, let me tell you. It means that I never feel like I have enough free time to dedicate to all of my interests. And I will never be the best at one thing. Anyways, the second announcement is, I would like to start doing more, user-submitted content again. I feel like, it would be, like, a little bit refreshing. I know that I've done, like, VTuber design deep dives in the past. I don't want to make it nearly as, I don't want to make it nearly as high pressure on myself as a VTuber design deep dive, but I'd like people to start feeling featured on my channel again. So what I'd like to do is I'd like to start doing like a small creator showcase. Not nearly like as advice driven, but more or less just checking out what's out there. And I'd like to start with a male VTuber showcase. I feel like it's disheartening working in VTuber agencies and seeing that male VTubers just constantly get overlooked. It makes me sad. How do I put this without being like actually political? But anyways, let me just I would like to showcase more male VTubers on my stream because I feel like they deserve just a little bit more eyes on them. You know? And I think it's unfair a lot of the times that they get overlooked because they don't fit into the male gaze, if that makes sense, you know? I'd like to generally find and feature more VTubers who are doing unique things that aren't just the meta. Because I think that people would watch them if they knew they existed, but a lot of the times it's hard to get people to know you exist. But I'm going to, like, organize it a little differently than I have in the past. I used to make it so that I would find out all the information on these channels myself. So, like, VTuber Design Deep Dives took a lot of me searching for the credits to the model and everything. No more. I am not going to do that anymore. If a submission does not include all the credits needed, I am not going to, feature it anymore. I need my audience who is submitting to do the legwork, and I think that's gonna be, the key for me to be able to continue to do this stuff. I was looking at a lot of submission-based streamers who play games based on fan submissions, and that's how they handle it. Basically, if you don't submit correctly, you don't get featured. So I'm gonna do that in the future to prevent me from having to do too much legwork for stream prep. So yeah. Let's see, do you think that male VTubers are often overlooked because of the viewer's male gaze, or because corpos want to double down on a certain template for success? I would say both. I would say, it's really just like, it's not that companies aren't willing to, it's that because it's shown less success historically, they're less inclined to try. Or at least try with the same amount of money as in the girls' programs. And then when the guys with less budget inevitably also have less viewers, it's like this perpetuating cycle of, like, if you look at Hollow Stars, it's like, unfortunately, because they bring in less views, they get less income for the company, therefore the company invests in them less, and the cycle continues. I will be right back, my dogs probably want to leave the room. But for me, if you're not doing the meta of being visually appealing to the male gaze, like, okay. First off, I need to say something very important. Everyone is talented. The majority of the people at the top are talented and worked hard. I wouldn't say, like, appealing to the male gaze is the key to success. I would say it's just a buff. If that makes sense? Because honestly, if you only appeal to the male gaze and you offer nothing else, you can't fill multiple 3-hour streams a day with no talent, you know? But I'm gonna be real. And, you know, this, take it with a grain of salt. Hashtag, please don't cancel me. My opinion is appealing to the male gaze will always be more successful than appealing to the female gaze. I would love to be proven wrong, but it doesn't seem like I am going to. Especially in a community like anime. Let's be real. Anime has mostly appealed to the male gaze. And anime that does appeal to the female gaze is just less common. And so, because we have more or less aligned ourselves with the anime community and the idol community. There are, like, specifically Japanese idol community. There are more successful female Japanese idols than there are male Japanese idols, and then there's also a lot more successful anime that appeals to the male gaze than the female gaze. Same with anime games. So that is where it comes from. But I firmly believe that if you are just, like, trying to go for the meta, you're shooting yourself in the foot. What male VTubers need to do is they need to divorce themselves from the VTuber community and pursue things beyond just VTubing. Just video game, like playing video games with a VTuber avatar. They need to find a new community to market themselves to outside of VTubing, because the VTuber community, let me be so real, I manage 5 female talents, and all of their demographics range from 93 to 100% male audience. 100%. So, we just have to admit to ourselves at this point, the fans of VTubers are majority men. The VTubers are majority women. When you go to Offkai, you will see exactly what I mean. You could pretty much, most of the time, you could assume that one of the women at Offkai were either a famous cosplayer or a VTuber. You said something along the lines before, VTuber should be treated as a medium and not just a genre of content, and that rings so true for me too. Like, I think the focus should be a content creator with VTubing as the vehicle for that. Exactly. And I recommend that to women as well, but I think it is the most important for men, male VTubers, to understand. Now, today's script that we're working on should be a reminder that literally you can do anything with your content if you're a hobbyist. Nothing matters, like, genre and target demographic do not matter when you're a hobbyist. Have you ever managed a male VTuber and seen their analytics? I would love to manage a male VTuber. I have never managed a male VTuber, but I do have male VTuber friends who have let me see their analytics. And I will say that although they have a bigger split, it's more like 70% male, 30% female. So as a result, we're also gonna see less, like, donations to male VTubers, because guys donating to guys happens less than guys donating to girls. It's just, yeah. Now, I look at streamers like Niji-Sanji's Luxium, and I know for a fact that there are women who would love to donate to male streamers. However, it's like, I'm not recommending that you stream on other sites than Twitch, okay? But I feel like it's really hard to get a majority female audience on a platform like Twitch, whereas I feel like Niji-Sanji, okay, huge disclaimer here, I do not recommend you stream on Bilibili. Okay? Big disclaimer there. I don't recommend it. I'm not gonna get into why. You can look it up. But I think one of the huge things of Luxium's success was that they went on Bilibili. And male idol culture in China is the dominant idol culture. It is. Male idols are huge in China. So I feel like being a male VTuber who caters to that market is going to be more successful on platforms like Bilibili than, say, Twitch, because Twitch has a majority male audience to begin with. I hope that makes sense. Again, you know, be careful. I don't even know how the bad stuff in Bilibili is, but using the website alone is enough for me to not recommend it for anyone. The UI of the site looks really bad. I am a consumer on Bilibili. I would say I like Bilibili. It's got its own, like, culture that is very different from YouTube and Twitch. I just think, you know, internet safety reasons, especially if you don't fully understand the culture, it's better to just be an observer. And that is coming from someone who somewhat understands Mandarin Chinese. I would say that because it's got its own culture, it's also got its own vocabulary within that culture. And so even though I'm not gonna say I'm totally fluent in Chinese, but I can get around in Chinese. Bilibili is still its own, like, universe. What about men that use a female model? I mean, I know plenty of them. I think they do fine. I don't know exactly the difference between men using a female model versus men using a male model in analytics. But, that would be a great thing. I actually kind of want... You know what? I kind of want... I don't want to make anyone dox themselves, but if I could, like, just get people to hand me their analytics, like, yes, please hand me your analytics, I would actually really love to see the data on that. Twitch feels more user-friendly to me, I guess. I mean, just from a purely aesthetic and software angle. Oh yeah, for sure. I would say there's less different ways you can interact with streamers on Twitch and YouTube, but the UI is clean. Yeah. The only one that's super successful is Joel, who, even though he's technically a doll. Yeah. So anyways, all that to say, I want to just have kind of a watch-along stream with you guys, if that's okay, of, like, male VTubers, and I want them to submit an introduction and some clips, and then we can just watch. Yeah. Are there any particular female demographics that are under-catered to by present VTubers that you suspect would be interested in VTubers if they had their needs met? I think that many women who are brought to video games because of mobile and casual gaming. Literally pick any male, or I mean, any female majority niche of the internet, and chances are VTubers haven't really explored it. I'm gonna be so real. Honestly, I might hang out with you for a watch-along of anything. We can watch Jollibee commercials or something. Yeah, I really just want to, like... I want to start doing watch-alongs of small creators. I also kind of want to give you guys the idea that there's no such thing as, like... It's not as black and white as people pointed out. They're always like, oh, small creators are small because they're bad. Big creators are big because they're good. I want to, like, break that... I want to break that stigma so bad. So yeah. So, for female... Yeah, for female creators... sorry, not female creator. Female audiences. Literally, like... productivity, vlogging, stationery, fashion, cozy games. mobile games that aren't like anime. Not anime, I'm talking about like puzzle games. Not like MiHoYo. That's not female majority. What else? Writing content, like writing books, book talk. Like there's so many. Animal facts, like like literally, I just watch animal facts all day. There's so many things that you could make videos on. And I'm gonna tell you that I also think that from my view, I still have male majority streaming audience, but I have female majority video audience, which tells me that perhaps the girlies are watching more video content than live streams. Personally, honestly, want more music-related content from you too. It could be anything as long as you're flexing your musicianship somehow. See, I forgot a lot of my terms and I feel stupid every time I start talking about music nowadays. Should Yam ever be interested in React stuff for interior design? I would want her to react to Decorating Sense. I freaking love Decorating Sense. Yeah. So yeah. Right now, a male or female majority niche of content that I'm super into is de-influencing. I've almost wanted to do like de-influencing VTubers assets for you guys because I feel qualified to do that. De-influencing is when so influencers get you to buy stuff, right? That's their whole thing. So de-influencing is telling you you don't need to buy this. Yeah. Yeah. So that is a female majority niche as well. So there are so many female majority niches that can be explored that just haven't. And if they have been explored, they haven't been explored successfully yet. There's probably a few small VTubers doing them, but they're having a hard time getting discovered. So my point is, I would love to, oh, hi, Mono. I would love to start featuring more VTubers on my channel and just kind of have them submit either an introduction video to me or a clip that they feel best represents them. Maybe a few clips, depending on how many we get. I just want to try it. The way I need it to work though, is I need you guys to submit things with full credits and stuff so that I don't have to hunt them down. I also need you guys to be aware of like DMCA. I don't want to get struck on my channel for reacting to your guys' content. That will ruin it. So I need to make a Google form for this. Wait, what specifically? So I want to like make categories. I think the first one's gonna be male VTubers. But I would love to just like start having watch-alongs of VTubers on my channel. And then I want to also have like a little bit of an advice column where you guys can ask me questions about your channel since we're checking out your channel. If someone wanted a question answered, like, hey, how's my delivery? Or like, what could I do to improve this content? I would love to also open that up. You would interview them and watch stuff on the side. Not an interview, but I would have them type up stuff. Yeah, type up like an introduction for me. Either type it up or give me an introduction video. That would be nice. I'd also love to do, like, a series on, like, VTuber auditions, if you guys wanted to. I don't know that anyone in my audience still wants to join a VTuber agency, but, you know. Anyways, speaking of, shall we get into what we are all here for, which is working on a script? Absolutely. I honestly love to submit that sort of stuff to you at some point when I start making content, since I don't want to stream. Probably easier to get feedback from videos and stuff. Yeah, sounds good. Alright. Let's, get into the actual meat of the stream. Yeah, when my model finally gets made. You can have a PNG! You can do it, Deckhand. You just need a PNG. Alright. Let's grab Firefox. Alright. Yeah, so I'm probably gonna make the Google form. I could make that Google form on stream, actually, and then just have you guys, like, retweet it or have people join my Discord to fill it out. Because I think that's the best way to go about it, is just a Google form. I'm gonna have to skip over entries that don't fill out the Google form correctly, so I need everyone to fill it out correctly. And the reason I stress that so much is because when I did VTuber deep dives, design deep dives, I used to be nice, and I used to, find the information. On Discord, not Revolt. They can do either. I do have a Revolt as well. Alright, let's see. Main idea, pro versus hobbyist versus corporate creator mentality. So, because this is a video that is, so cut and dry into 3 categories, I would like to, make a spreadsheet. I think that will make it easier for me to then write a loose script based on the spreadsheet. So, I've got a spreadsheet here. We're just gonna versus or hobbyist plus or versus pro versus corpo. Okay. So we need to find the categories. First. Okay, so we're gonna have columns be pro, corpo. And then we're just going to have the rows be the different aspects. And I'm so sorry if people who actually know how to use spreadsheets are gonna watch me, because I don't know how to make spreadsheets other than just, like, tables like this, so if I, like, defile your eyes with my lack of knowledge, I'm so sorry. Alright, so, let's see. Let's first put audience, pressure level, public relations, social media presence. We'll just put social media, schedule, workload. I'm just thinking of some categories we might be able to consolidate these in the future. PR. Oh, friends. Friendships are very different. Oh. Sponsors. Income is another. Sponsors and income might be consolidated later. Okay, niche. Social media platforms. We'll just make a content. Oh. Ignore me almost being out of storage. I'll fix that later. IP. That's another huge one. Model. Okay, professionalism. Audience. I don't know how I haven't thought of that, but definitely should be making Excel spreadsheets for this sort of thing. Yeah, this is how I organize my thoughts in a script. A lot of people ask me like, oh man, yeah, I love how organized your scripts are. I myself am not an organized person, but if I can visually see the way the script is organized in these like little categories, it's a lot easier for me to structure the script in a more organized way than... oh, I already put audience. Okay. I'm gonna put, like, fulfillment. We'll see if I need that category. Okay. Okay. How do you mean by friendships, as in frequent collab partners or as in official network associations? I do mean both. So, a hobbyist, we'll get more into this, but a hobbyist, they can play with whatever friends they want. Doesn't matter if their friends are brand friendly or not. An aspiring pro, an aspiring pro wants to minimize collaborations with people who aren't good for their brand, people who aren't growing their audience, and people who aren't adding to their content. And then a corpo, they're actually limited to who they can collab with. So I'm sorry to ruin the Disney magic for some of you, but if you've ever noticed that, sorry, I'm trying to, there we go. If you've ever noticed that all the top independent VTubers just happen to be friends, think of the odds of that actually happening organically versus think of the fact that perhaps it is good for their brand to be friends with these people. Now, obviously, they can legitimately get along as co-workers with a professional relationship, and some of them might even bring that relationship to the status of, like, real friendship. But the odds of it just organically happening is not very high. There is something beneficial about that relationship, and it's not just social. That's how I will put it for now. Okay. So let's... Honestly, I think it was the Cinder drama that you reminded me, oh yeah, these people are co-workers / actors. Yeah. Maybe I was drinking a little of the Kool-Aid. Don't feel bad. That's literally what it's designed for. Literally designed to have you believe it. Yeah. Okay. Alright. Pressure level. Okay. Trying to connect? Why are you trying to connect? Hmm? Okay, let's refresh the page. Hi, Spidey. We're currently having technical issues with Google Sheets. I say genuine friendships can happen from that, I guess, but yeah. At the top of the industry, I don't think these relationships up there just happen from vibes and homie energy alone. Correct. A lot of these people are kind of untouchable. Sorry, that sounds bad. A lot of these people are unreachable. By normal means. You have to know someone to even suggest a collab with them. So you don't see these people at the top collabing with smaller VTubers often. Because smaller VTubers can't reach out for collabs, and there's no way that these bigger VTubers would want to collab with a smaller VTuber. So, yeah. That's not to say that they don't have creator friends that are smaller than them that they don't collab with. I only know of one content creator that has broken the mold, but the guy has been my only exception in the entire VTubing space, yeah. It's kind of how visual artists look at the masters. They want to thrive to be them for all the wrong reasons. Same concept with VTubers, but more complex. Yeah. Okay, so pressure level. Hobbyist. No pressure. Smile. Okay. Audience / algo. Lower views. Not playing to algo. Okay. Public relations. No need to think about PR other than being clean enough to not have people coming after them. Social media. Can be on whatever platforms they want. Don't have to have presence on platforms they don't enjoy. Schedule. Have to fit regular schedule around work schedule. As a result, less consistency. Workload. No necessary work from their hobby, but still have to stream after a full-time job a lot of the time. Friendships. Collab with whomever you want. Make friends with other hobbyists / fans. Sponsors. Not often offered to hobbyists. Income. Usually under 500 a month. Okay. Say genuine friendships can happen from that, I guess, but on top of the industry, I really don't think relationships up there happen just from vibes and energy. Yep. I only know... Oh, I read this. Okay. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. Okay, niche. Can be whatever they want. They can appeal. They can do meta content or even pick a niche with no audience. Content. Okay, I guess niche and content are a little close. Let me see if there's anything else. That makes sense. Outside of VTubing, there are exceptions which larger creators can collab with small creators if they've seen rising talent, but that's problematic in its own way, yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna leave content blank right now. IP versus model. Self-made, pay to use, free to use, or commissioned are all valid. B-Royd, PNG tuber, and what are those kind of, what is it called, like the live 2D, what's the Suica model called where you can customizable models are seen at this level. Professionalism. Variety of professionalism. Let's see. Allowed to be as unprofessional as they want. No need for... Oh, I guess public relations and professionalism are kind of the same thing. So let's delete professionalism. Okay, and go with fulfillment. So... at the same time, if you can get past that feeling, I believe this is the most fulfilling way to go about things because you are not stifling your creativity. Oh, you know what I should put is content freedom here. Waste of time. You can get past that feeling because I believe this is the most fulfilling way to go about things because you're not stifling your creativity. You can interact with whomever you want, however you want. Professionalism can refer to BTS, I guess. Yeah, I think it's true, other than like personality and presentation, I think professionalism can also be the production and process and such. Oh, true. Maybe. Maybe we'll bring it back. Yeah, okay. Professionalism. No need to consider professionalism outside of PR. Okay. And take as many breaks as you want. Take as many breaks as you want. Don't uphold to a regular schedule if you don't want to. Okay. Content freedom. Less concerned with copyright permissions. Can generally do anything on platforms as long as they don't violate TOS. Can be opinionated, show off significant others. What else can indies do? Indie hobbyists do. Usually I have a huge list. My brain is not giving it to me today. Let me read my paragraph again. Sponsorship. Oh, change content directions at any time. What else? Scuff said are par for the course and actually adds to a sense of relatability. Yeah. Okay. So, hobbyist. Oh. Let me just really quick. Okay. Alternatively, hobbyists can laser focus on a single niche and play. Yeah, exactly. Or hyper focus on something that isn't meta. Playing an overly populated game category 7 days a week. Yeah. Okay. So, pro. So let's say an hobbyist wants to take things to the pro level. Audience and algo need to find their a way to please the algo. Audience is king because they bring in your income. Okay. Pressure level. Higher. Fear of losing all you are working towards building. Public relations. Don't need to be 100% clean, but you do need to be likable by your target demographic. For instance, let's say you were a political streamer for whatever reason. You don't need to be liked by your political opponents, but you do need to be liked by the people who are a part of your political who align with your politics. Let me just make this orange really quick. Oh, it's gonna bother you guys that I only have it's gonna bother you guys if I don't highlight the pro too. Maybe it's just me, but describing and breaking this down for pro and probably corporal too, a lot of these factors sound very existentially dreadful for them. Yeah, sorry. Social media. Highly recommended you are on all platforms to increase the discoverability. Hello. Schedule. a fixed schedule. Recommended that you post your content at least 3 times a week, unless you are doing really high quality uploads that take a lot of time. Workload. Highest. I'm gonna say that the pro indies, highest workload. You are trying to make polished professional content on a high schedule, or a highly demanding schedule, and you are often doing it all by yourself. Some aspiring pros also work full time on top of their content creation. Okay. Friendships. Although you can continue to interact with your real friends, it is in your best interest to try and interact publicly with fellow pros / aspiring pros whenever you can. I'm so spoiled by programming because it's from Stream. Description, I thought about different scripts. Oh, thank you, Alphonse, for the 22 months. My goodness, 22 months in a row. You're amazing. Alright, sponsors. Need to find sponsors to pay for your more expensive assets and production costs. Also recommended that... Okay, income. Sponsors and income probably need to be merged at some point, but for income, higher than hobbyists, but varies greatly. Need to find sources of revenue outside of just donations. Sponsors, product. Oh, thank you, Kato.
Kato cheered 200 bat bits. Kato 2 thumbs informative.
Thank you. When creators try to shift from hobbyist to pro, do you recommend they do so gradually from where they are, or that they try to rebuild under a new brand? I recommend that you make the shift from hobbyist to pro very gradual, actually. I believe that you should slowly ramp up things in terms of, like, content creation and stuff. Should you rebrand when you want to go pro? It highly depends on what levels of PR and professionalism you were operating under your current brand. So for instance, if you were sharing a lot of personal stuff, if you were perhaps getting involved politically on your VTuber account, and again, it depends on your niche. Assuming you're going for the, like, main niche, then yeah, political is, and, like, oversharing your personal life is gonna be a no-go. Oh, that's another thing. Share as much or as little of yourself with your audience. Don't care how it looks. possible to form. Might be a hot take from me, but my personal belief is that I think more people should treat VTubing more casually and not try to go pro. We need more casual VTubers for the love of the game. Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm advocating for as well. Okay. Let's see, we were sponsored product, side hustles, donathons, merch drops, small businesses, etc. Yeah. I'm trying to get a day job, though. Currently, I'm managing VTubers, and I will say it does not pay many bills. It is keeping me alive, but there's a lot of purchases that I'm currently holding off on. I'm just kind of holding my breath until I get steady income again. And I'm dreading tax season. My goal is to get a job before tax season. Yeah. Okay, niche. Should pick a niche. Sorry if I'm prying too much, but is there a specific type of day job you want? I need remote work. I need remote work due to health reasons. And that is very, very difficult to get in my state because California has a lot of regulations on employment, and as a result, a lot of international businesses and even businesses in other states do not want to hire from California. Our minimum wage is higher, and the amount of hoops they have to jump through to hire me is more than, say, if they hired someone from West Virginia. As a result, it's been very, very difficult to even get interviews. The only interviews I've gotten are from VTuber agencies, or from scams. So yeah, that's kind of where I am. Should pick a niche that performs well and isn't oversaturated. I want a remote joke so bad. I'm not tech savvy, so I know I'm unqualified for most of it, sadly. I'm sure you'll have your shot soon. Thank you. Yeah, so I did mostly, like, I originally wanted to be in animal services, so been a kennel attendant for animal hospitals. I've done dog bathing and dog grooming. And I thought that was going to be my career trajectory. But unfortunately, my body does not agree with that, so I have to, more or less, create myself a career that works with my body and works with the place I live in. But I am dreading tax season, so I am trying to find genuine work so that I don't have to be in tax debt, you know? Do you like those jobs? I would definitely want them. That sounds like a dream, honestly, if it wasn't for your help. I love those jobs. Absolutely loved them. There was days that I would cry a lot, obviously, because working with animals can be sad when they pass away. can also be painful. You can throw out your back, you can get bit, you can get slammed into a wall. But I rarely felt like I don't want to go into work today. I rarely felt that. Yeah. Okay, so niche. Pros should pick a niche that performs well and isn't oversaturated. Their niche is... should... You know what? Instead of IP/model, I'm gonna call this brand. Should suit their branding, and should be the main thing marketed towards their audience. I'm gonna say income to cost here. Any expenses are usually paid caps low and paid out of pocket or out of day job income. Yeah. Volunteered for a wildlife sanctuary before, and seeing sick and suffering animals was really difficult for me, but I've still valued my time there, yeah. And I really value what I did learn on those jobs, because I do feel like I've helped the people in my life better understand how to care for their animals. It helped me understand how to care for my animals better. And if someone has like a sick dog or pet, I usually know when's the time to see the vet and how to get seen quickly. So, I don't regret my time. All I'm really sad about is the fact that I can't do it anymore. You know? Okay. They can do unmarketable or things out of their niche on occasion, but generally the majority of their content should remain niche specific to not upset the algo. Content freedom. Although they technically have the freedom to make whatever they want, keeping PR in mind, there is the pressure to continue growth by making things that do well in the algo, appeal to their overall brand, and fit within their niche. Pros need to constantly have ROI in mind in order to keep afloat. Okay, brand. Self-determined. Means to be strategic and well polished. A lot of upfront costs go into making a well-branded VTuber channel. They do own their own IP and and often utilize their IP and branding to attract more viewers, plus make more on merchandise. I feel like writing for the corpo section is gonna look similar to the pro stuff, but with like more bullet points in there. No worries that you're late. There's no such thing as late here. Okay, fulfillment. Can feel very fulfilling when you find success as an aspiring pro. You are living your dreams after all. But some can come to realize that following their dreams requires sacrifices they weren't expecting, and that their dreams coming true does not necessarily bring them the happiness they thought it would. Hold on, let me turn on a light. It's really dark. It's really weird weather today. Let me... It like rained earlier, which if you know Southern California, you know that's really, really rare. Okay, professionalism. Although they aren't exactly professional but relatable is key. Nothing quite like a yam stream to start the day. I'm so glad. So aspiring pros really need to balance the professional but relatable approach. Another conversation you can argue between hobbyists and pro, and even corpo to some extent, is the perspective of viewership. I Am Sophie's unification made a point that what social media in general, when trying to go pro, can do to your mental health and how you view viewership with the algo. Yep. Is that a video you've already sent me? I made a playlist, but I haven't gotten to it yet. If not, please do send it to me in my Discord. Unfiction. Unfiction. Yes, now I see. Not unification. Okay, professional but relatable is key. The aspiring pro needs to be professional enough to make business decisions or business agreements, contract out liars, and deal with the legalities of small businesses, and keeping their brand and PR clean, all while also convincing their audience that all while also maintaining a outward persona to their audience that things, or that they're a goofball entertainer. Something like that. That's not exactly it, because not everyone needs to be a goofball to be an entertainer, but, you know. Is this the way you view things, or how they are, or how they should be? The guide thingy. So this is the mentalities of each type of creator. There's obviously overlap and exceptions. These are all generalizations, I will say. But I do recommend hobbyists to keep things easy breezy and fun, and not do the parts. Oh. No. Where's the work? Wait. Pressure level, social media, workload. Okay. Cut out the parts of the work you don't enjoy. So, really, this is my advice to each person in the mentality. So I'm basically explaining each of the mentalities, and then I'm also giving a little bit of advice to each stage of content creation. Now, a lot of people assume that, oh, you start as a hobbyist, and then you go pro, and then you go corpo, and that's kind of the that's the roadmap everyone should take. I'm different. I recommend everyone stops at hobbyist. And I recommend a lot of pros go back to hobbyist. And I recommend a lot of corpos go back to hobbyist. Now, if a hobbyist finds a ton of success, if they go viral overnight, I should mention that somewhere. There is a small chance you will go viral overnight, but it's very slim. So, I really think that's the only, like, I would recommend people the way to enjoy content creation the most is to remain a hobbyist. There are some people who can only enjoy content creation if they are in the pro-men. Like, if they've got this calling, this itch. This itch to become a professional performer. And I'm not gonna tell those people no. In fact, that is basically my... Oh, hi, Pumpkin Toss. Thank you for popping in. That is basically my client base. I'm not gonna tell them no. I know how, like, I can help them get to where they want to go. A lot of them want to join corpos. But I think the way to enjoy things the most for the majority of people outside that 1% who can only enjoy content creation if they're pro, is to just remain hobbyist. I would really love to, I'd really love to, return to only doing things VTuber related for hobby. Like, a lot of my video essays have just halted completely because, I do VTubing stuff all day, every day, because I meet with VTubers about their channels all day, every day. And as a result, it feels like a job. Which is why I've become so, loosey-goosey with my own channel. Yeah. Let me see. self-made. Okay. Brand. Okay. Corpo. Audience and algo. Audience is the Corpo audience, which is incredibly passionate, dedicated, and generous, but also the most volatile and unstable. I'm just gonna be real. I'm sorry. Pressure level. Pressure coming in from all sides. You've got upper or management pressure, audience pressure, sponsorship pressure, contract pressure, yeah. Contract pressure is performing according to your legal obligations and staying silent due to NDA. Think that typically in life the world pushes you to become better or more value-wise. So from newbie to pro in your setup to corpo, but I think what you do, who you are, and what makes you valuable to others, who you interact with, where you and others get / perceive your value is situational dependent, yeah. And I think we're going to, sorry for the mic bump, I think we're going to see a shift back to really relatable content over the years, because I think everything has become either really polished or really brain rot. We are not seeing anything in the middle anymore, and we're not seeing slow content anymore. So I think as the pendulum on our media swings back the other way, I think hobbyists are going to come back as the popular way to go. Hopefully. Hopefully. Okay. PR. PR is everything. The way you are perceived by the audience is highly calculated. You need to provide them with a consistent corporate narrative about who you are and how you fit in with their what is it called? Collection of talents. Disney magic is at play, both to I don't know how else to say Disney magic. I don't like the word kayfabe. Both to protect your identity, but to also sell that you are indeed the character that audiences believe you to be. Okay, social media. You do not determine which platforms you are active on. That is entirely up to management. Schedule. Oftentimes schedules are pre-approved by management, but they range from 3 to 7. I'm gonna say it's on the higher 5 to 7 days of content a week. Yeah, workload. If workload is more than a 9 to 5 job, often tacking or corpos often tack on extra meetings, with management to your already demanding workload in order to keep everyone on the same page. There are more hoops to jump through, which creates more bureaucratic work. But I still think, let me think. All opportunities are self-made, self-reviewed, and all the legalities associated with each opportunity are on your shoulders. Often financially unsustainable to hire more than one manager, and as a result, you must handle most things of your duties all by yourself. And then pressure to make corporate or make content that's as polished as a corporation without the same resources as one. It's like we're trying or are to put discrepancies / restrictions on how we as a person operates day to day. I don't like that idea / concept, but I get it. These things you're writing feel like rules for life on how to be more efficient in and or if you are being either overwhelmed with time, people, work, etc. on every other adulting stuff. She's mostly showing the differences for you to choose what type of VTuber you want to be. Yeah, I just want to kind of show the pros and cons and the mentality that people tend to have. Obviously, this isn't rules on what you have to do. I find that most people are like 1 foot in hobbyist, 1 foot in pro. And I do think this is a spectrum, because some corpos are really laid back to the point where their corporate VTubers can act like hobbyists. I haven't seen any of them be successful, but it is true. This is a spectrum, and it's a lot of generalizations, but I really want people to understand the full difference. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Oh, you know what I also need to put? Somewhere. Workload, social media schedule, friendship sponsor. Oh, okay, here, I'll put in pressure level. With lack of assistance, and connections. There's a lot of fear that your channel can be wiped at any time, but there would be nothing you could do to fight against that as a one-person operation. Honestly, similar in any content creator, not just VTubers, but we're looking through the lens of VTubers. Yeah, the reason I use VTubers is just because that's what my experience is in. And also I feel like there's not as much corporate culture in any other place. Except for maybe esports. You know? Uh-huh. Social media, uh-huh. You must always post in character and I'll just leave it as that. Okay, schedule. Pre-approved by management. Workload. Yep, we did that. Friendships, alright. You first and foremost have your main friend group or determined by who you debuted with. And then co-workers. You cannot publicly disagree with any creators, and you most likely are only going to collab with co-workers. Collab / publicly interact with. And not... Oh gosh, really? Did I drop? Am I back? Am I back? Okay. Collab publicly with coworkers and not your real friends. Okay. Having a side social media account is risky, so it's generally recommended that you have your other accounts while inactive / delete your other accounts. Sync to audio is a bit off. Sorry about that. Okay, sponsors. Sponsors are much easier to achieve. Oftentimes, managers actively look for sponsorships on your behalf. Unfortunately, you have a lot less control over the sponsorships / opportunities you can say yes or no to. Okay, income to cost ratio. Agent or audiences donate more to Corpo VTubers, but Corpo VTubers see a significant cut of their revenue taken by the corporation to keep overhead or to pay for staff / overhead costs. The bigger you get, the bigger or the more amount of money they take. Okay, niche. You have very little control over your niche. You must Most of the time, you must adhere to the niche of the entire VTuber agency. Oftentimes, you audition for an agency with the niche you would like to occupy in their talent roster, but the majority of agency VTubers are variety streamers who sing, dance, and have a similar humor style. Which of the 3 categories of VTuber do you most often manage? So I have managed corporate VTubers in the past, but right now I'm mostly, actually no, I only manage aspiring pros right now. I'm doing work for a hobbyist, but it's not management work. All of my current VTubers are aspiring pros or aspiring corpos. Yeah, half of my VTuber audience, half of my, sorry, VTuber customers, I guess. Clients, yes. Half of my clients are, aspiring corpo or aspiring pro. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna make like an advice column for aspiring blank. Okay. Content freedom. Although you have some freedom on what games you choose to play, you do need permission on the majority. Songs you sing, and who you interact with. You do need permission on the majority of, let's see. What comes to mind visually speaking is the example of Elon, who thinks 80s rock and rollers, animators, voice actors, and artists, guys wearing a French hat, and moments when adults exclude childlike / youthful actions. Uh-huh. Yeah. On everything you go live for, or you publish. If your company does not vibe with a certain creator, gaming company, or brand, the chances of you interacting with them on an official level are slim. The expectation is that your content gives the company an ROI. So, every stream is considered a business decision. Zips copy, I'm still waking up? Yeah. This is a spreadsheet for sure, yep. Okay. Let's see. Expectation that your content gives the company ROI, so every stream is considered a business decision and therefore has the pressure to perform well for the sake of everyone in the company. As such, streams that won't perform well are discouraged. When it's income to cost, in exchange for this cut, companies will provide a lot of the overhead costs on or upfront costs. Upfront costs, but less than people assume. I was trying to think of a better term to the Disney magic. Would VTuber dream work? It's still not. No. Disney magic, I'm talking about like when a princess is walking around the parks and she's in character. She is selling the idea to the children walking around the park that she is indeed that character, that they all live at Disneyland, and that she is having a great day even though she might not. So that's the specific kind of Disney magic I'm talking about. That all the princesses live at Disneyland and they're all so excited to see the children, and they really are this princess from the movie, and they all hang out behind the scenes. Yeah, it's really hard other than Disney to like really like talk about what I'm talking about or like describe what I'm talking about. It is really hard to find a better term. I think, unfortunately, as much as I love to take it away from Disney, I don't like to use their name because I don't love the company. I feel like it is the best description of what I... Yeah. Okay. Not even Broadway, because Broadway, we understand that they are playing a character. And I feel like literally corpos are trying to get you to forget that they're playing a character. Yeah. 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 Suspension of disbelief. Thank you. I'm just gonna put that here. So I remember. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay. Agencies are not risk takers. Where is that going? Probably brand. Might not be able to stay in chat. It's almost 3 a.m. Keep watching until I pass out. Oh, please take care of yourself, Tips Fedora. Disney magic is the suspension of disbelief. Yeah, plus immersion. Yeah. Okay, agencies are not risk takers. You are handed a corporal-friendly brand that isn't 100% up to you. You can usually take any direction with the character they give you, but you have to keep ROI in mind and not stray away from the company culture. Brand friendly in VTuber spaces is not as cut and dry as people might think. Brand friendly doesn't equal PG. In fact, it almost means the opposite. Let's see, adult humor, and I don't want to call it raunchiness because I feel like that's too negative of a connotation. So let's look up thesaurus and see if there's a nice obscenity. Let's see, humor, obscenities, certain obscenities. Obscenities and sex appeal are encouraged. Anything politically charged, internationally controversial, such as like mentioning certain countries' languages or races. Politically charged, internationally controversial, current events. Oh, suggestive. Yes. Suggestive. Thank you. Thank you, Revenant. Anything politically charged, internationally controversial, or discussion of current events is prohibited. Discussion of, I'm just gonna say, of the real world, honestly, is prohibited. You need to give your audience the illusion that you're, free to say spicy things, even though there's quite a few things you are prohibited from saying. Yeah. Right. Idol Dream doesn't quite fit because of how VTubers are handled versus idols, though it's the same concept of what you mean by immersion and suspension. Yeah, critical. Yeah. Discussion of the real world. Critical of others. Intentionally controversial. Usually includes not talking about romantic. Oh, yes, thank you. That would be in brand, yeah. You cannot talk about your real life, your a lot of your real opinions, feelings, and relationships outside of the company. You need to remain politically, romantically, and racially ambiguous. Not just racially, but culturally, maybe? Culturally ambiguous? Yeah. Surprised that mentioning a language is controversial. It's because of the international nature of VTubers. I'm not gonna pretend like the world is all kumbaya. There are certain countries and certain groups of people that if they hear a certain country or certain group of people even mentioned, it is considered controversial. Yeah. Culturally is big too. There's difficult to understand issues, so they're very careful with that, yeah. Exactly. And I feel like that is strategic in the way of building an international audience, but it feels like you do have to sand down a lot of yourself in order to fit the mold. Can feel very limiting and require you to sand down a lot of your personality and background for the sake of the agency's international friendly branding. Okay, fulfillment. If you are interested in the idle dream of performing on the big stage, having a dedicated fan base. Yeah. It's one of the reasons why people got so endeared to the VShojo girls, because they were closer to pro-indie VTubers than Corpo. But, yeah, even then it's more, yeah. Right. Ugh. Okay. And I would say the nice thing is, like, I would say the hobbyists and pro space used to also adhere to these corporate rules. Back in when I started, back in my day, in 2020, 2021 era, we all upheld this corporate, like, don't talk about your race, don't talk about other races, don't talk about your boyfriend, all this stuff. A lot of people would get mad if a VTuber talked about their personal life, uploaded a selfie, got political, supported a, here's the wild one, supported a charity that they believe in, that someone in Hololive could not support, right? You still can't get political? I would disagree. Getting political will always attract detractors, but it will also win you a fan base of people who agree with you. In a corpo? No, so I'm not talking about corpos. Corpos are same rules. I used to be that in 2020, 2021, you as a hobbyist also couldn't post selfies, talk about your significant other, get political, that kind of stuff. Yeah. They would literally say, you're not a VTuber if you do XYZ. You're not a VTuber if you upload a selfie. You're not a VTuber if you talk about your boyfriend. You're not a VTuber if you don't have an anime live 2D model. I'm so serious when they literally said, you need an anime style live 2D model to be a VTuber. When literally Kizuna Ai was 3D. They're just talking about a very specific such style. Over time, as the EN VTuber sphere grew and then started melding together with Twitch culture, with greater YouTube, and with spreading out, honestly, spreading out and becoming more normalized, now it doesn't matter. But back then, all this stuff that I'm talking about, like corporate restrictions, applied to even hobbyists, to the point where when I work with hobbyists, a lot of the times, for instance, when I work with like old hobbyists who have been doing this since 2020, a lot of people come to me and are like, they still have the pressure of like literal corporate mindset on them, and I'm like, girl, if you want to talk about your boyfriend, just talk about your boyfriend. It literally doesn't matter anymore. You're not like trying to get people to subscribe to you because of your singleness. So just talk about your boyfriend, you know? Sounds to me like they were at the time trying to set foundations of what it meant to be a VTuber, yeah. And I still think a lot of, if you go on the more interesting sites, there are still some VTuber fans who are like, I only watch corporate VTubers because these indie ladies, they have opinions, they have boyfriends, they have, like, they feel like their Disney magic is challenged when they see an independent VTuber doing things that their corporate VTuber would never do. And so as a result, there are still a lot of old-time, like, long-time VTuber fans that are like, hashtag, not my VTuber. I'm not gonna watch indie VTubers because there's a chance that they will one day announce that they're freaking married and have a child, and that doesn't line up with my Disney magic, with my immersion. So they still exist, but they're in the minority now, I would say. And they can keep, like, VTuber corpos aren't going anywhere. They'll be fine as long as they stick to Hololive. They'll be in their safe bubble, you know? Yeah. If you're not interested in the idle dream, or if you are interested in the idle dream of performing on the big stage, having a dedicated fan base, doing large-scale projects, voice acting in anime, the corpo life may feel very fulfilling to you. The restrictions that you are restrictions and revenue cut may weigh on you over time. But a lot of these dreams are only possible how do I put this? Surprised, but I'm happy to say the world has shifted enough for her to feel safe to say that. Yeah. I'm honestly surprised there wasn't a huge uproar with Nimi announcing that she's getting married. So here's the thing. Those types of, like, fans, the aforementioned, I don't watch indie VTubers, they find it actually a betrayal of themselves and of the company they are fans of, when a corporate VTuber leaves and then goes independent. So they don't follow that VTuber outside of the corporate jump to indie. And as a result, these corporate VTubers seem to actually shed the most toxic part of their fan base when they move to their independent accounts. If that makes sense. So as a result, I think Nimi not getting backlash has kind of solidified my theory. And of course, I didn't like check 4chan that day, but Nimi didn't get backlash on Twitter. So I feel like she shed a lot of that fan base that can't handle the thought of their favorite corporate VTuber having a husband. Do you think that's why Goro went to a new account altogether rather than using the old account? That's my best guess, but I am not a mind reader, you know? I don't know her intentions. But yes, I believe that. I also believe algorithmically that it might be better algorithmically to start a new account that is successful right off the bat instead of wake up an old hibernating account. I want to bring rockstar culture to VTubing? Yeah, heck yeah. Exactly. Okay, the restrictions, revenue cut may weigh on you over time, but a lot of these streams are much easier, or much more in your reach when you do join a corporate setting. If okay, I'm just gonna leave it at that. Professionalism. Professionalism is a must. You will get terminated if you are not capable of professionalism in a corporate VTubing agency. There are a lot of clauses in contracts that force you to remain professional. Otherwise, Japanese companies, I'll just say Japanese companies, I'll just put East Asian companies, East Asian companies, enforce professionalism very strictly, and you will quickly get punished if you are going against that culture. Hollow's a very precariously balanced blend of professional family. Yes, they're very careful with their brand image of being professional, polished, and also to the outside world seeming like a family. Yes. Okay. So we've filled out our table, and now I have my script. So basically these are going to be all the categories that I go through in the script. Now I could either go by this kind of category, or I could go by this kind of category. I think I'm going to go by row instead of by columns so that it's easier to directly compare. So I will start by being like, okay, here's the differences in mentality based on the audience and algo. Here's the pressure level. Here's the PR. Now, I think these need to be reorganized to ones that relate to each other more. For instance, public relations and audience are very close to each other. Pressure level and like workload are more close to each other. So yeah, I'm gonna definitely reorganize this, but I feel like I've gotten all my categories, and I have my statements on each of them. So now I'm gonna do my last category, advice for aspiring blank. So advice for aspiring hobbyists would be get comfortable being let's see. Get comfortable being anti or unfavored by the algorithm. Do not compare yourself to creators outside of the hobbyist space. Remind yourself that pro and corpo VTubers are not in the same league as you and have different goals as you. Challenge yourself to value your hobby for the joy it brings you rather than the success you gain on your channel. Yeah. Use free to use / pay to use assets as much as you can. Do weird content that doesn't do well in the algo. Think outside the box because you have all the freedom in the world to do so. Play with your friends. Talk about your life as much or as little as you want. Role play as much or as little as you want. Change up your content whenever you feel bored of what you're doing. Yeah. Okay. Aspiring pros. Keep your brand clean. Clean from the beginning of your account. Find a make a polished VTuber brand, but find a unique primary niche that you market outside the VTubing sphere so that you can gain popularity in a niche of content outside of VTuber, out of the VTuber market. Network often and surround yourself with content creators who take this just as seriously as you do. Don't quit your day job until you are making more than a stable income. Yeah. For pros, have a stringent checklist for privacy and safety. That is... yeah. Remain legally safe make sure you have a lawyer contact if you are doing business deals. Hire a consultant / manager on a as needed basis to make sure your trajectory is you are putting your efforts towards what is most important. Yeah. Okay. Corpo. Careful where you join. Must hire a lawyer who look at all contracts before you make the leap. Do your due diligence. Of research into the company. I'm gonna plug my red flags VTuber agency video because the majority, if not all, VTuber companies are successful or have I'm just gonna say the majority of VTuber agencies contain some red flags in their business practices. Join for the right reasons. Not to make friends. Not to make a ton of money, but because you love performing and playing a polished character. Gotta really pay attention to your own health. Yeah, that's for everyone. I'm gonna say yeah. Put your effort resources most into what you what gives you a return on investment in terms of money or growth, so that you can work efficiently and not overwork yourself. Okay, join for the right reasons, make friends. Okay, let's see. Not make a ton of money, but because you love performing. Oh, you guys haven't not been able to see what I've been typing a lot of the time. So sorry. Oopsies. Okay, but because you love performing and playing a polished character, Let me see. Don't join if you are afraid to advocate for yourself. Or rather, I'm gonna say, be your strongest, self-advocate. Don't be afraid to negotiate fair terms for yourself. Treat your gen mates like co-workers first, and remain friends with people outside of your agency. Mind your privacy the best you can, because this type of fan, not this type of fan, because fans will immediately try to dig into who you are the moment you debut. Okay. Before you enter, before you make it in, pick a very marketable niche that aligns with VTuber agencies. Don't do anything in your indie career that would bar you from being accepted into an agency, and always remain very professional. How would you suggest a hobbyist on talking about not typical topics such as booktube and authortube content? I would recommend you market yourself towards booktube and authortube. Look at how booktube and authortube makes their thumbnails. Look at what kind of TikToks they tend to do. Stitch other authortube, booktube creators, react to their content, reach out and network to other booktube and authortube creators, and audience share with them. That way, you are just another booktube / authortube creator, and not necessarily just a VTuber. Don't do anything. Always remain professional. Invest in performance lessons, language, singing, dancing, and improv. Okay. Learn how to put together a unique audition video, and from the crowd. Network with other agency VTubers wherever you can. Preferably once you are close to their size, numbers wise. Okay. There you go. Alright. Don't graduate. Okay, there's my script. So basically what I'm gonna do now is I'm going to rearrange the categories into like a good video flow. I'm going to change the tenses to all be in the second person, like talking to someone, as in you. Or no, I think I'm gonna talk in third person for these categories and then switch to second person for the advice. So I'm gonna switch all these to, like, oh, the hobbyist VTuber doesn't care about lower views, this kind of thing. The hobbyist VTuber doesn't have pressure, whereas like the pro, yeah. That way we can be reminded of which category I'm talking about more often. And then for the advice category, I will have the talking directly to this type of creator. So yeah, let's figure out the order here. I think brand would be a good first one. Okay, so brand first. Then what goes with brand? Pressure, social media. Maybe social media? Niche. Brand, niche, content, freedom. Okay. That goes into maybe public relations, which goes into audience. Let's go pressure level, because after I've actually, maybe pressure level should be first to kind of introduce things. Okay. So we've got pressure level, brand, niche, content, freedom, public relations, audience, and algo. No, maybe pressure level should come after audience and algo. I'll workshop it. Okay. After pressure level, we're probably gonna talk about... Did I talk about niche yet? Yeah, I did. Okay, let me start marking these. Okay. Public relations, I have grabbed. Got pressure and audience algo. Okay, so social media schedule and workload. I think workload... Social media and schedule is probably good first, because then when we talk about workload, people will understand. With brands, something to do with character building. Yeah. Yeah, for corpos, really gotta pay attention to your own health, physical and mental, because of how strenuous it is. Communicate better because the difference between overworked and having projects killed, yeah. Okay. Sponsors. Okay. Sponsors and income go hand in hand. Okay, income to cost and niche are already handled. Wait, did we already talk about freedom? Content freedom. Okay, after content freedom, we need friendships. Oh, actually, no. After, public relationships, we need friendships. Workload is very important to get in early to set up person's expectations and requirements. Oh, that's true. Okay. In that case, let's do pressure level, workload. Okay. Pressure level, workload, brand niche, content freedom, public relations, friendships, audience, algo, social media, schedule, sponsors, income to cost, fulfillment, and then professionalism. Professionalism is probably gonna come next to brand. Oh, next to PR, actually. Okay. Fulfillment. And then advice. Yep. Okay, there we go. Just clicked in the stream. What is this about? Nice. I was working on a script in a YouTube video based on differences between hobbyists, pro indies, and corporate VTubers, yeah. Okay. So this is the finished script order, hopefully. Then I'm just going to copy paste these back into a Google Doc with chapters and fix the tenses of everything, add an intro and conclusion, and then we're done. So thank you everybody so much for watching. I hope this was somewhat informative on like how to structure really complicated video essays with a lot of chapters. Then again, workload could be at the end if a seriously interested and invest person in what you have to say know what they're doing. That's true. You know what? This is hard, but I think pressure level and workload make more sense if you've gone through all of these things first. Because then you understand what goes into it before you hit here. Yeah. Brand niche, content freedom, public relations, professionalism, friendships. Yep. Audience and algorithm, social media, schedule, sponsors, income to cost. Yep. Pressure level, workload, fulfillment. Yes. Okay. I'm pretty happy with this. Do you think I'm crazy for the way I structure things? But I think it's the only way for me to stay organized when I've got this many categories going on. Yeah. Yay! Yep. Alright. Thank you everybody so much for watching. Let's go on over back to just chatting really quick. I'm gonna raid out. Yeah. Structure I like if they flow right, yeah. That's the hard thing. Alright. Let's see. Yeah, I can raid out. Be sure to join my Discord if you wanna hang out with me off stream. Otherwise, I'm going to go raid out to one of my VTuber talents and dear friends, Princess Roska. Say Bat Punch raid to Princess. She is playing Cuisinier. She is a puppy princess VTuber who plays the violin. She is an aspiring pro VTuber, to give you some context. So please go share some love with her. And for those on YouTube, thank you everybody so much for watching, and as always, take care, Bat Bunch.